So hi, I'm James. So today I would like to describe and introduce my game that I wrote by Scratch. Well, it is seems like a very complex things, but I will try my best to describe in detail, step by step. So first of all, I will start the game, and I will start to explain how I wrote the game and how those codes works. So as you can see, this is the first background of my game. I use several steps to control the background. Well, when I first press the green flag, the background will immediately change to this one, and start to play the background music, as you can hear. Well, when I press 1, the background will automatically switch to 2 and stop this song. As you can see, I have wrote press 1 to start the game and get 5 to win. Let's press 1 and to see what will happen. So when I press the 1, the background changed, and when the background changed, the two players will automatically change to O 155, and the other is O and negative 155, and set this is P1. Press A and D to control. Press a space to short, and I think for P2 it is the same, right? When after they say this word for 3 seconds, the word can be start. Let's see what we can do to P1. So P1, I have wrote those words to control the P1. As you can see, I can press WASD to control the pad, and here is a surprise for you. When when the pad cross the middle line, it will change your customs. As you can see, I have two customs about the pad. The middle line is actually illustrate the x equal to 0. So when the pad is on the right of this line, the pad is actually changed to right customs, and when the pad go to the left side, the pad will automatically change to custom 2. So it is the same in P2. P2 is controlled by arrow. As you can see, I can change them. So for the balls, it is very complex, as you can see. So at the beginning of the game, the player will say this is P1, press A and D to control, press space to shot. So that means we can press space to start the game. Let's see what we can do to press space. Okay, so as you can see, when I press the space, the ball will start to move. So what we do is actually for this code, when I press space button, then the ball will automatically move 8 steps forward. But when the ball moves 8 steps, this code will end, and the game will stop, right? So this code is actually to solve this kind of problem. If the ball's x and y are not equal to 0, which means the ball isn't in the middle of the playground, the ball will always move 6 steps forward. So that means the ball will always move around unless it's in the middle of the playground. So this is a way for me to control the ball, where it is in the middle of the playground or move around. So as you can see for this, as I mentioned, the background will change, right? But for the first background, there's no icons or any elements. So these actually are the ways for me to change to control. When I click the button, this one, all the icons are hide. But when I press 1, which is the background switch to 2, all the icons and speeches will appear and shows. So for next one is when the ball touch the player 1 or player 2. As you can see, when I shoot the ball, press space. You can hear the sounds pong. The mimic sound. So that's the way I use here. When the ball touched player 2, which is the downside of the player, the direction will pick from negative 25 to 25, which is here to here, about that. And when the ball touched the pad, it will sound pong. So it's the same thing on player 1. So these are the things on the ball, and Apart from that, we also have when when the ball hit the layer, the 4 layers. So when the y-axis of the ball equal to 180, which is the upper side of the playground, the P2 will add 1 point. On the other hand, when the ball is equal, the y of the ball equals to negative 180, the P1 will add 1 point. And whenever one player gets 1 point, I will play some applause until done. So as you may notice that the point only appeared when the ball hit the downside or upper side of the layer, but not right and left. So these two are actually things to control. You may notice that I have created 2 walls on both sides of the layer, and when the ball hits the upper side of the layer, the P2 will add 1 point. On the other hand, if the ball hits the downside of the layer, the P1 will add 1 point. So these are the scoring system, and other than that, we have the background music, as you can hear until now. When the point is not equal to 5, this sound will always played during the game. And of course, when I press the start button, the score will clean to 0-0, right? And the next one is this one, to applause. And when P1 or P2 get 5 points, the game will stop and start to play celebration song. So let's try, shall we? So I can press 1 to start, and the speech will continue for 5 seconds, and I can press space to start the game, right? Okay, so I think P1 will win the game. If I didn't, okay. Wait, okay, there is a mistakes for P2. Okay, so P1 gets some mistakes. Oh, it is very complex and difficult for me to control both players. Yes, I just play the game by myself, and I think P2 will win the competition if P1. Okay, so as you can see, P2 win the competition, and the P1 only got 2 points, and P2 win the game eventually.